all new. AM1150WTMP.com.
Now again, the herd is in the room. The elephants are here, so we're gonna make some stuff happen. Now I'm gonna say something right here early in this whole process of thing. Is this election cycle? This community is gonna be more informed than they have in any election up to this point. I'm particularly talking about the black community because again, TMP wasn't here for a while, and the newspapers only do so much, and this year, the fact that we got 4 black candidates involved in this process. Something that I've been hollering and screaming and yelling about, since I got in politics back in 2006, that we needed more black candidates, more qualified black candidates, more young, black candidates. And again, at the end of the day, this year, as I told a group this morning, one of my wishes or dreams had come true. Because we got folks involved in a lot of non-traditional districts, because before the only district we ran for was the black district, which is District 5. I guess somehow that became the one that they gave us, and we didn't seek nothing beyond that. Not true this year. This year we got folks everywhere running involved, and it's more, or has been more, candidates on TMP talking to the community, blacks and whites, about what's happening this cycle. And I think because you are more informed, the results of this election, whoever wins the mayor and whoever become the council members, they're going to do it because you are more informed. The people from South Tampa will not elect the mayor, and they will not elect, all these council members. They're going to elect theirs, but they won't elect all the rest of them, because traditionally, you know how Tampa and Hillsborough work, is South Tampa politically controls everything. They show up to vote, and they get rewarded for it. But this cycle, they got 4 or 5 mayoral candidates who live in South Tampa. Well, guess what? That's going to split it all up. And all the folks that's running for the different seats, council seats, something I kind of found out is, not just the mayor's race do they have their own black folks. Some of these council seats, they got their own black folks, because they got to talk, they got to spread the news, they got to communicate with a different community this time, because traditionally the inner city get left out. You run for your seat, which is 5, and you don't have nobody running for mayor, and you don't have nobody, in the county, the citywide seats, and you kind of get what you get. But you are actively involved, and I want you to give yourself a hand. You're more informed, because all kind of issues is coming up, and they got forums all over the city, all over the county. Again, this is uplifting. This is what the clothier said. A better informed suits and ties, and you look better, and all that kind of stuff. Well, this community is going to do better. You're going to do better, because you're going to elect somebody. And when you elect somebody this time, you're going to know that they spent their time, their energy, and their effort communicating with the people of this community, and I mean the black community, because traditionally you get left out. You're there, but you're not there. Nobody's paid you any attention, in so long, this, like I said, this whole thing feels different, especially to people who are politicos, because you got young folks involved, you got probably, this is the most diverse election I've seen, since I've been here in Tampa. And I came here in 1971. So you got a little bit of everything involved. You got blacks, you got Hispanics, you got white folks, you got male, you got female. You got. I mean, this is that melting pot. This is that melting pot everybody's been talking about. You know, how you do it. If you want a community that's diverse, you know, community that's 25, 26% black, 26% Hispanic, you got a minority, thing happening here within the school, within the community. It happens everywhere except financially. They still only doing less than 2% of the spending of that $1 billion the city spend, with black folks. But once we get some people in there that look like us and council seats and people who are concerned about us in some of those council seats, then that spending is going to change. You cannot spend less than 2% with 25% of your population, or 50% of your population if you include blacks and Hispanics together. So I had to get that off my chest. I guess we're gonna go ahead and start the show. Porch Talk Radio. Let me go ahead and give you the information so you know how to call, how you get involved. And we got a guest that's here, and we got another guest that's on the way. Again, just to fulfill the whole thing. It ain't just about us black folks. And one thing I've always said, since we've been doing this show, and we've been doing this show here for 2 years, we've been doing this show all over for about 9 years.
Mm-hmm. Literally all over.
Yeah, we the Republicans pretty much gave the city of Tampa to the Democrats. Ain't been involved in a long time. A couple years ago, we had a candidate that ran for mayor and did pretty good. Rose Felita did okay, but the Democrats kind of eked that one out because the one thing they say, well, we've never had, and they proudly say we've never had a Republican mayor for the city of Tampa. Well, that may be so, but times are changing. We got a bunch of Republicans in this race. Normally, there's no Republican candidates, in these council seats, and again, if we have somebody running for mayor, it makes a big blobby sound at the end of the process because that's the one thing that don't happen. You don't get a Republican elected mayor, and we don't have one running this time. But I said to you guys earlier, we're going to get involved. The Republican local party has got involved. Matter of fact, they're having this weekend, they're walking for candidates. They're walking for Republican candidates running for council.
Pepe was one of our people who was running from Muskoka, walking out with them, and then also that was Dick Greco, some of his people.
Well, so again, yeah, and this young man that's sitting here with me is a Republican. That's
the other young man
that's running. That's running, for a council seat. So again, we're gonna bring that to you. That's what we do. We gonna
get involved.
Get off the couch. We're involved. We want you to be educated. So again, we're making sure that you hear from all the candidates. And again, there's some Republican candidates, and if you don't hear from us, if you don't hear them from us, you're not going to hear them because they're going to the forums and stuff, but they don't have the ear of the black community like we do here. So we want to make sure that when you make those decisions, you're getting to hear from all the candidates that's out there. So if you want to call in the show, the call-in number here for TMP to be involved is 813-251-9867, 813-251-9867. If you want to call Eddie Adams Jr. cell phone, which I get calls all week long, so I'm going to keep giving the number out. So the number, my cell phone, 813-2312, website, Porch Talk Radio.com. Just spell it like it sounds. And my email address, Eddie, EDDIE, at porchtalkradio.com. Sponsors, we got some great sponsors. The Hillsborough County Republican Executive Committee have been on board with us since we started this great experiment, and it is turning out to be a great venture for me. Great venture for them because it's actually giving them voices in your community, in your living room, And they got some things coming up that myself and Jim, the chairman, was talking about. How do we get the Republicans involved in the community? And we got some ideas we're kind of kicking around. So we're not going to wait till next year. We're going to start doing some things within the community this year. It's a lot of young blacks, males and females, that's taking the walk. They're switching over. At least they're leaving the Democratic Party. I know a lot of old blacks don't want to hear that, but hey, it's gonna come. It's coming. So.
And again,
more.
people are kind of, as you have said yourself, Eddie, they're kind of leaving the plantation saying, well, why do we have to do it that way? It's never gotten us anywhere, and it's kept us in the same mess we've always been in with all those roundabouts you guys have over there in the neck of the woods over there. It's like, how's that helping the community having, that's a lot of money being spent on those.
Well, again,
That could be spent somewhere else in the community.
people think that's progressive.
Yeah.
So again, at the end of the day, okay, so that's the Republican Executive Committee. Todd Jones, property appraiser.
Thank you,
has
Todd.
Been with us from the very beginning. New here the last couple of weeks is the Florida Strawberry Festival. So they got a big shindig over there. The Florida State Fair will be over it Monday, but in a couple of weeks, And I'm just saying, if you haven't been in a while, go over to Plant City, because they got Keith Sweat, they got Kool in the Gang. They do better with the black entertainment over there.
Kool in the Gang.
I'm just saying.
Do you still have that on 8-track?
Again,
Back in the day?
it was hot.
That's it.
They still hot. I mean, because groups like that got their followers. And they do. I'm just saying, the Strawberry Festival does better than the Florida State Fair for us bringing entertainment to our community. Entertainment that's of interest to our community. And Print Fast, John Desbrow. John is a person that can meet all your printing needs. Have a small car lot. Got a small car lot over there. Got a couple hundred cars over there if you need to buy a car. And also, just give him a call. He'll help you. He'll make some stuff happen for you. 813-621-9444. And just walking in is one of our other guests. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Go ahead.
Because sitting here with me is one of the, we got a few Republicans, we got a few black folks. Again, I just
And they can be one and the same.
yeah, they can
Okay.
be.
Just clarifying.
I just making sure that folks understood that this race is so much different than some of the other races that we kind of bring you what we got, and we want you to be informed. That's my goal. I said that when we first started this show, 9 years ago. The whole idea of what we do is give you information. Now, what you do with it is up to you. And we hope you do good things with it this year, because again, we got a different view of our elected official, and the ones that we elect this time, we're gonna do a better job because we got more information about those guys. And sitting with me here on Porch Talk Radio this morning is David Loos.
Yes, sir.
David Loos. So David's gonna tell you a little bit about himself and why he's running. And all those good things, and then after we get through with David, we're going to talk with my man who I've been with for a number of years, Walter Smith II. So, David, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. What say you this morning?
Yeah, thank you for having me. So, my name's David Loos. I'm running for City Council District 1. I'm a Tampa native, USF graduate, and I've lived all over the city. I volunteer my time with Meals on Wheels, Paint Your Heart Out, and I've started a grassroots movement called Move Tampa Bay, which is a transportation organization. For me, the reason I'm running is I feel that City Council is the true voice of the community. It's the one that's there to address the concerns, and their job is to ensure that you have opportunities and a safe environment to live the life that you want to live. I focus on three main investments, as I call them, and in this order: family. Family is the most important thing you can have. So let's focus on the safety requirements that come along with your family, ensure they're safe. So let's be brilliant at the basics: sidewalks, crosswalks, street lights, more police patrolling. I have a hard time saying let's build a park on Bayshore when there's communities that don't even have sidewalks. you know, that's a problem for me. Second, it's gonna be your home. Your home might be one of your biggest investments you'll ever have. So let's start looking at the infrastructure needed to secure your investment. This requires smart city developments. There are new technologies that we can use. So one of my favorite ones that's recently come out, not here in the Bay Area, but nationwide, is a sensor development you put underneath trash trucks, dump trucks. And as they drive through the city, they know where the potholes are and they record them, and they can give you the statistical analysis that you need to when they need to be repaired, how dangerous they're gonna be, and you can deploy units out like that.
That's almost like the pizza.
Very similar.
Repair pothole guy, you know. That was a big deal. Pizza Hut, you know.
And I say let's partner up. If Domino's
Yeah.
wants to fill the potholes,
Domino, that's what it was.
if they want to fill the potholes, let's let them fill our potholes. You know, other things that go along with that. Again, we face a lot of flooding here in Tampa. It's one of the biggest problems we have, and it affects our homes, and it affects our vehicles, and it affects the way we get around. So there is a project currently going on right now. The city's doing $250 million project that they're putting tanks underneath the streets to help with the overflow water until it resides, and then flush it back out.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah. The thing is, it's about a 10 to 15 year program. So
right.
they started right at Dale Mabry and Henderson.
So keep the scuba gear down in South Tampa?
Yep.
Okay,
Keep your swimmies with you,
There
your
you go.
floaties.
just saying.
But there are other technologies we can use even along with the drainage, and it's sensor based where it tracks the flow and direction of water. So as certain pipes start to fill up, we know in real time where we can flush those waters out.
Wow.
David, 1 second.
I'm like, you know what, I've got better things to do on Tuesday morning.
But no, that's right.
I can still be sleeping. I would be like,
2019 Florida Strawberry Festival. It's a hit. February 28th through March 10th. Over 24 of America's top performers appearing daily at 3:30 and 7:30 p.m. on the Wish Farm Soundstage. And enjoy them all from our state-of-the-art GT grandstands. See hundreds of exhibits, arts and crafts, free entertainment, awesome food, and of course, our world-famous Plant City Strawberry Shortcake. The fun never stops with special days and nights on the Bell City Amusements Midway. Enjoy over 80 of the most exciting rides, games, and prizes. Plus, visit the Sunny Bell Kitty Corral for the little ones. Gate admission is $10 for adults, $5 for kids. Children 5 and under free. Or visit a participating public supermarket for discount admission tickets. Get details and your tickets today at flstrawberryfestival.com. That's flstrawberryfestival.com. The 2019 Florida Strawberry Festival. It's a hit.
And we're back with David Loos, running for Tampa City Council. He happened to be a Republican, so we know most of the listening audience won't hold that against him because you guys never hear from Republicans, and so I'm making sure that they're not getting left out this cycle. So we got some Republicans running, and David's going to continue to tell us about. He was talking about South Tampa, you know, and the fact that they get the first drainage, they get the first cash, they get the first good streets, the first good lights, and I've told you they do that because they vote, and people respect that, and so they've earned it. So this is the opportunity for your community to demand respect too. So go ahead, David.
Yeah, thank you. Can I first also say, don't forget the strawberry shortcake.
Okay.
It's Strawberry Festival.
That's delicious.
Yes.
So back to it. So your home's your biggest investment. That's the second one that I was talking about. And we're looking at smart development, how we can protect your home with the smart growth as well, because we all know that we're growing at a rapid rate. So that's also going to come with the challenges of affordable housing. From there, the third investment, which I think is the foundation for your other two, is going to be business. Now, if this is a career you go to, if it's a job you go to, anything that we have to make sure that you are able to get to your job. That's the most important. So we really look at transportation there. And there's some things that government does well. Transportation is not one of them.
No.
So one of the, as we all experience. So one of the things that I'm a pretty big advocate for is partnerships. I think going forward there are some public partnerships we can do. There's some public-private partnerships we can do. In the realm of transportation, I am all for doing a partnership with our busing system with HART. I think it's important that the community, the city or the community holds these routes so everyone is getting the ridership they need. And then secondly, having a partner come in that can control the buses, the maintenance, the pensions, the employees, give them the 401k benefits they deserve. I think that's a way we can take some money, put it back into the community without flushing everything into mass transportation.
So by partnering, or you mean not all taxpayer funded, or?
Right. So I'm saying, let the city control the routes, and even maybe some of the bus stations, or bus stops, because that's another big thing I'll talk to in a minute. And then partnering with a what I call a revolutionary technology in transportation, so the transportation revolution. Uber, Lyft, even Amazon, if that ever becomes an option, partnering with them, because they know how to be efficient, they'll be able to save some of the money, but making sure that every resident still gets the ride, gets it more frequently, gets to work on time, doesn't have to wait in the rain, doesn't have
That
to wait.
sounds anti-government, if you ask me,
Well,
against the system altogether, because
Well-
that makes sense.
That's actually smart.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
That's
Yeah.
a different concept.
Yeah.
very,
Well-
especially here in Tampa.
Well, and going back to the bus stations real quick is, you know, we have all this money to offer transportation money, and that's a great thing. And what we need to do is, the way I look at it is, if you're about to sell a house, what do? You clean it up, you fix it up,
Mhm.
and then you send it out. Let's partner with somebody that can take some of these burdens off of us, be more efficient, be better at it. So
Right.
the first thing I would do with that money, or I would recommend, is really focus on the bus stops. It drives me crazy that we have bus stops that are just a post in the ground. And, you know,
A post and a sign.
a post and a sign,
Oh.
yes. And if you're lucky, you might have a trash can there. I think we need to clean those up. Let's make sure they're covered. Let's make sure there's a bench there. And you know what? If we need to sell advertising to it, let's sell advertising to it. If we want to put Strawberry Festival and wants to advertise on one of the bus benches throughout, you know, a certain portion of the city, let's do that. Why wouldn't we do that? So that's the first thing I would do with that money. I'd also start looking with new transportation modes that are coming out, especially for the inner core. I was recently in a city that had these scooters, and of course everyone talks about the scooters. For me personally, I think the city, by allowing them on the sidewalk, is not the smartest idea. Because A, the scooters are gonna have to go slower, and as soon as somebody gets in a bad accident on it with, you know, a mother and a child or something,
Yeah,
we're going down that road, and we don't wanna go down that road. So these scooters should be treated like bicycles in bike lane, going down through the thoroughfares, they're where we need them. And then, of course, you have Coast Bike, and again, Uber, Lyft, that can get you around. The downtowner is a great investment. I wish we had more downtowners. So if you're not familiar with that,
those are
that's-
free, right?
those are free. Yep, that's paid for by the Downtown Partnership, and they are free. The thing is there's only a handful of them, and they're used quite a bit by the University of Tampa. So it's trying to get a managing
Sure,
partnership
yeah.
with them.
Right.
So, for me, again, I think city council is really there to be the voice of the community, address certain issues that are concerns to the residents, but at the same time, create these environments that are safe for you, and also give you opportunities to thrive.
Sounds excellent.
Let's be brilliant with the basics. I think once we get those basics down, and again, that's going to stuff that should already be happening, the stoplights and crosswalks. I mean, I got hit by a car about 3 weeks ago crossing Ashley and Kennedy, or sorry, 3 months ago. And granted, it didn't have to go to the hospital or anything, but it shook me up a little bit. I got laid out on the hood of a Jeep Wrangler, you know? And I just imagine if I was an older person trying to
Right.
cross that street.
Right.
Which is a lot of our population in
Right.
Florida in general.
Yeah,
Well,
and I would have been.
Florida's
underneath
like
that.
the #1 state in the country for hitting people on bicycles
Oh.
and pedestrians.
And it's not because the retirees didn't see you necessarily.
Right,
But
yeah.
that probably helps.
We
Yeah.
we even killed the ex-governor, got
that right?
hit by a car and got killed here in Tampa, so.
Huh.
Yeah, and that's something I'm pretty passionate about, you know, because I think we need to start being a more walkable city. And you look at something like Bush Boulevard there, I mean, that's its own little Daytona 500 at times.
Oh, yeah.
And there's Chamberlain High School,
And
people
they
are
got the
coming
warning
past.
lights and everything, but people still get hit.
Yeah, they're not paying attention. So that's kind of my platform in a nutshell,
Okay.
you know, giving back to the community, focusing on these basic elements that we should already be doing. But let's start looking at 21st century solutions to some of the problems that are already existing that
excellent.
haven't been accomplished in the last 30 years, and some of the problems we're gonna have coming up in the next 20
Well,
years.
tell people how they can help you,
Yeah.
how they can give you money.
How can they find you?
I'm
Yeah.
just going and throwing that out there, how they can give you money, because everybody needs money.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
all the candidates haven't been there myself, and then your website, and if they
Yeah.
want to volunteer. So even if they want to show up and come help you walk, help you do some of the stuff you need to do, give that information out.
Excellent, thank you. So again, it's David Loos, City Council District 1. You go to davidloosfortampa.com to go to my website. There's a button there for donation as well as contact information. Today, if you happen to be in the Heights area, we are holding a barbecue at the Heights Meat Market from 1:30 to 3:30. Come out, enjoy some of the good steaks and meats they have there. There'll be water, a good time to have a good conversation and a follow-up from this interview here.
So folks, this is how you get involved, this is how you begin to make change happen in the community, instead of just sitting around and complaining and whining. You get out, you meet these people, and you decide for yourself, and most of you are Christians, y'all pray about it, but you make a decision, you meet, but if you don't get the information, if you don't meet these people, and they're coming out to meet you, all right? If you don't get up off the couch and go out there and see what it's about, then you're gonna keep getting what you've been getting. You'll keep whining and complaining. Eddie and I sure as heck aren't getting any younger. So that's happened for you too. So get off the couch and go meet these people. Where's that gonna be now, that gathering?
That's going to be at the Heights Meat Market. It's right off of Florida and MLK area.
Okay then.
And we'll be there from 1:30 to 3:30
Get out, folks.
And when is that?
today.
All right.
Yeah.
Now also on Thursday, TOBA and the NAACP is having a political forum. Again, an opportunity for you to go personally meet these candidates, hear what they got to say, and get involved. So that's going to be at Milton High School Thursday, February the 21st at 5 p.m. So I know there's a lot of forums and a lot of people having the forums, but this is your opportunity to go listen to these guys, meet these guys, shake their hand, actually ask them questions yourself, see what they're all about, and start making some stuff happen. So.
Thank you.
So,
God bless, brother.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day.
So do what you do. Show up. Meet these guys. If you got any questions, go to their website. Contact them. Let them know that you're with them. You want to make them. Help them do what they're trying to do, which is make Tampa Bay better. And also, there was a career fair at Irwin on April the 6th. So there was a career fair. Again, last year we had 500 or 600 people show up. This year we want to get 1,000 folks show up. Change your lives. Get off the couch. Get off your girlfriend's mama's couch.
There you go.
Wherever it is you hanging out, not working. Wherever it is, you got people talking about you. People who normally would love you, but they don't love you because you ain't employed. You're sucking up resources and all that kind of stuff. So
Come on now, Eddie.
So I'm just saying, before a career
You're getting
fair,
hard on them.
career fair is
Hey.
a good thing. You want to make sure that
Get a job.
You don't be a burden on your family. And then
You're responsible.
We're gonna go to our
You're
next
worth the
guest
dirt you
here,
stand on.
which is a good friend of mine and somebody that we are supporting. And at the end of the show, I'm
This
gonna
guy
let
named
you
Walter?
know, let you know all the folks that I'm supporting. And we doing this for a reason because again, like I said, we want to make sure everybody
Council City at
gets
large.
the information. Everybody gets the right information.
That's for District 1. Are they allowing black people in District 1 to vote?
Well, they allowed the Republican to
Shall I
just
tell
left.
you some stories?
I'm just thinking they only had so many spots out there where they wanted a black person to be on the council.
Well, they-
One spot, wasn't it? One seat?
Well, they only have one seat that's designated there. The
But
rest
we can have more than one black person
well,
there?
the rest of them they got to fight for.
Ah.
The rest of them they got to fight for. They got to go out there and win, like Walter's getting ready to do for District 1. So Walter, go ahead and tell folks who you are,
Afternoon.
and tell them how and why you better and how you're gonna do something that's not been done. Because again, 5 is black and the rest of them is white. So how you gonna help change, how you gonna help change that?
Ed, I gotta tell you, I tried to stay away from that as much as I possibly
Well, that's
could.
why I threw it on out
but
there.
you know what?
That's why I
it's
threw
an
it on out there.
It's an unavoidable topic, as I'm seeing very, very clearly these days.
That's why I threw it out there.
I'm Walter L. Smith II. I am your candidate for City Council District 1 at large. And I am running because I see that Tampa is, and you've probably heard this before, but I've said it a billion times over, is on the cusp of something great. But we have some issues that are keeping us from reaching that greatness. We have a city that, as diverse as it is still very, very segregated. And we have to have the type of connectivity between communities and people that will stop some of these roadblocks that exist. We have focused in on the core of the city, so much so that even when we talk about issues of unemployment, We are rating it at a 3.4. Back in December of last year, it was 3.4, 3.5, 3.6. By March, we were at 3 point, somewhere about near 4. Okay, but as I'm looking at these numbers and I'm talking to my students who I'm training to go into these jobs, they're saying to me, "Well, Mr. Smith, where are these jobs? I want one," you know. And so there's that prompts you to go and take a look at the realities of our city. So we're focused in on the core of the city, and we're forgetting about the enclaves of the city, right? Where they have 15%, 20% unemployment. Extraordinary numbers of unemployment in these areas of the city. And understand these are all connected issues. When you talk economic development, when you talk about the issue of environmental protection, when you talk about the issues of homelessness as a part of social justice, when you talk about all these issues like this, that is a problem. It's a serious problem. And so we have to have someone who has this sensitivity to understand that the dynamics that we've seen recently in this city, where a whole group of people have been pushed out of their community, of their community now, into the outskirts of the city, into subsidized housing. They're not coming back to the core of the city.
No.
I would.
Planned justice. That's what they've been, See, the people don't want to call it.
Call it what it is.
What it is.
Call it what it is.
But they someone planned several years ago that we're gonna primarily get rid of all of the folks that was in West Tampa. We're gonna change West Tampa and make it something
It's
else.
unrecognizable.
It's not black. It's not Hispanic, and the folks that's moving in there, they're taking up the taxes. I'm just had to jump in there because I had to say that.
But no, it's unrecognizable right now, and that's when we look at development throughout the city. That's one of the issues. When you talk about development, I talk about sustainable infrastructural development. We have focused in on development so much so that we've not looked at issues of infrastructure that needs to be put in place. We're looking at more impervious. I'm an engineer, so when you talk about that, we're talking about impervious areas where water can't go through the ground. So we're putting buildings and putting more buildings and putting more buildings, more paving and more paving and more paving. And so there's nothing porous. That water's backing up. That storm water's backing up, and it's backing up for a reason.
Yep.
So we've got to make sure that what we're doing is sustainable. We keep having to crack open the ground again to go and revisit something that should have been dealt with a long time ago. It's imperfect. Of course it's imperfect. But we're not dealing with things from the standpoint of sea level rising and climate change. When we start talking about that issue, see, it's connected. You see the connection there? When we talk about the issue of sea level rising, no matter what anybody said, you can disagree with it all you want to, how you want to see it. But what's undeniable is the fact that there is sea level rising. That's the bottom line. And so we've got to make sure we're planning infrastructural change to be able to withstand the type of storms that we're going to be having to withstand.
So could that mean that we could be like Louisiana is with that low part?
Very soon if we're not careful.
Gee, don't we have some smart politicians that could have known this by now, you think, Eddie?
Yeah, but all of New Orleans is underwater, so.
No, I'm just talking about here in Tampa.
So
Don't we have some
we're
smart
not like
politicians that
Miami
could have
is.
said something?
Yeah.
We ain't Miami yet.
All right.
We're not there yet. But those are some of the things that we talk about homelessness and social justice. We talk about homelessness and lack of housing. I mean, why? Why are we having to deal with this at this point? Why wasn't this dealt with before? Because it wasn't an issue before. When I say it wasn't an issue, it wasn't something that was important to anybody before. Enough to deal with it. We've been talking about it forever, but no one actually addressed it. There has to be the type of engagement with communities that will help to transform these types of things, and that's not happening. So that's why I'm running. We've got to make certain that we're doing that type of community engagement, that we are organizing with people to transform this city and how it operates. We've got to transform the condition.
Well, see, one of the things about this election is you could probably end up with no sitting or no repeating sitting, councilman, because again,
I think that'd be excellent.
you got a couple that's running.
Out with the old, in with the new.
You got a couple that's running, but you could end up with a whole new council, city council, and a whole new mayor, and you want to talk about tomorrow, that's tomorrow.
Absolutely. No question about it.
And tomorrow could be March the 6th, the day after the election.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even if they have a runoff, in another month, you have the runoff, then you have the real people there, and then you're ready to go. I just hope that everybody got a plan, because win, lose, or draw, the plan starts, April 7th or 8th or whenever the runoff is, because at that point in time, you're going to have the new council, and you're going to have the new mayor, and hopefully you have a new plan for making Tampa a better place to live.
Absolutely. And there are plans. I mean, here's one of the things that I keep hearing, and you hear a lot of it. Things like, "I'm going to make these tough decisions for you." There's something wrong with that. I'm not going to make any tough decisions for you. I'm going to make tough decisions with you.
There you go. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
You mean get input from the real people?
The people.
The people who are impacted by it,
Right.
right? This shouldn't be a trickle down
Shouldn't
conversation.
Yeah.
A trickle down impact or dynamic. That's not how this works. We've been doing that for quite some time, and we keep getting pushback from it. And because we're not getting that CBA, that community buy-in, that's a problem. It's a serious problem.
Right.
And so, how do you do that? You go to where people eat, where they play, where they worship, okay, or step away from that. Get outside of that box. Do whatever has to be done, but we should not operate as representatives of this city without actually getting that kind of input from people. Like, people were talking about, somebody asked me once, they said, well, should we have more taxes? And, add on to
you got more taxes
Wait a
on
minute, whoa, back up.
You got more taxes.
Now, unless the people say that they really want some, what I've heard so far is we don't want any more. We're already at 8.5.
We got that choo-choo train funded.
8.5.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about the issue of infrastructural change and sustainable infrastructural change, what forces that a lot of times is development that's positive development. Let's talk about like those CSX lines that should be being used, right? So that runs through the heart of our poorest communities. Okay? It forces us now to take a look at how our communities are being developed. And using terms like, as another new term, right? In situ gentrification. Which says that the people who are currently in the community that are there are now empowered and included in the process of gentrification. See, gentrification itself is not bad, unless you look at the dynamic of how it's being used.
Right.
But it was termed so badly that they had to come up with a new term, in situ gentrification, in order to focus in on the people that live in the communities that are being affected by the change.
And and I'm gonna just break in here and say a couple things. See, folks made assumptions a long time ago that the railroad tracks, those folks were paying top dollar for railroad property. See, when they were building the railroad, the reason they got so many railroads in the black community because the property were cheap. It was cheap, and here it is, 50 years ago, 50 years up to now. I know we got a phone call. 50 years up to now, it's being reconsidered because, it costs a lot of money now to try to move all the railroad tracks and take them out of the black community. So again, that's the main thing you got to be concerned with. They're there for a reason, and it wasn't because they was a black community. It was because that's where the land was cheapest. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. What say you this morning? We're sitting here having a conversation with Walter Smith II. Hello?
I want to say to Brother Walter, the question is, we know in this form of government, you got to have a collaborative relationship with the mayor. That's a strong mayor form of government. And city council control the budget, and they can use their position as a bullet pulpit to talk about issues. on the red light camera, and would you support a mayor that get elected that have a unsavory relationship with the people who control the cameras? I'll get up there and hear what he said.
All right, there you go, Walt.
Okay, I couldn't hear
He,
the whole.
he was asking about the fact that we got a strong mayor type of government, and that we could possibly have an unsavory relationship with the red light camera and the people who control the red light camera.
You know, how does the red light camera work? Right?
Somebody's making money.
Somebody's making money.
Out of state,
Right.
out of state.
Follow the dollars.
Exactly. So we have to make a determination, right, about how policies are being made, what's happening in our communities and things like that. I want to have a good relationship with our mayor, right?
Right.
And that's what we all hope for. But the most important thing in this entire process is the people, and it's the community that's being affected. Now, in terms of the camera, listen, if it's about safety, that's one thing, right? But when it comes down to how it's utilized, we talk about the monies that are coming from it and things of that nature. We need to make sure that that's going to be benefiting us in some way. That's what we need to make sure certain of, right?
And also that it don't penalize one community.
We can't have it penalizing. We cannot have it penalizing a community. Otherwise, what we'll see is a situation where the community will be affected in a very negative way,
Right.
the way that the biking situation did, right? And that is something that troubles me a great deal with regard to that issue. I would, again, I hope to have a great relationship with our mayor. The people that I know thus far running for mayor, I have good relationships with everybody there, right?
Right.
Some of them I've actually worked with before, whether directly or indirectly, in terms of community development issues. Some of them I've had some real disagreements with,
Right.
but across the board, we want to make sure that we have a good relationship. But my job as a city councilman is to make certain that what the people want gets transferred and is shown on council, is shown in the city, and reflects what they want, and that I'm able to convey that message to the mayor, so that we can work out whatever needs to happen and facilitate that type of outcome that needs to happen for a better community. Bottom line.
All right.
The 2019 Florida Strawberry Festival. It's a hit. February 28th through March 10th. Over 24 of America's top performers appearing daily at 3:30 and 7:30 p.m. on the Wish Farm Soundstage. And enjoy them all from our state-of-the-art GT grandstands. See hundreds of exhibits, arts and crafts, free entertainment, awesome food, and of course, our world-famous Plant City Strawberry Shortcake. The fun never stops with special days and nights on the Bell City Amusements Midway. Enjoy over 80 of the most exciting rides, games, and prizes. Plus, visit the Sunny Bell Kitty Corral for the little ones. Gate admission is $10 for adults, $5 for kids. Children 5 and under free. Or visit a participating public supermarket for discount admission tickets. Get details and your tickets today at flstrawberryfestival.com. That's flstrawberryfestival.com. The 2019 Florida Strawberry Festival. It's a hit.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get on this day in.
Oh, please.
And then we'll go ahead and finish our conversation with Walter Smith here, Walter Smith II. Okay, on this day, February 16th, 1923, Howard Carter unsealed the burial chamber of Egyptian pharaoh Tutankhamun, King Tut. The next day, he entered the chamber with several invited guests. He had originally found the tomb on November the 4th, 1923. 22. So officially, we got King Tut back in the day. On this day, this was the day they discovered King Tut. On this day, February 16th, 1937, Wallace C. Carruthers received a patent for nylon. So, you know, a lot of you folks, nylon has been the saving grace. So, he was a research scientist for DuPont. On this day, 1959, Fidel Castro seized power in Cuba after the overthrow of President Batista. Also on this day, and this may bring back some memories for a lot of folks, in 1970, Joe Frazier began his reign as the undefeated heavyweight world champion when he knocked out Jimmy Ellis in 5 rounds. He lost his title in January 22nd, 1973, when he lost for the first time to his professional career to George Foreman. If you guys remember, back in the day, George Foreman was the man among men, among boys, among everything. He was the biggest heavyweight champion they had in some time. So
He's still around, but he's not lean anymore. But he still sells that lean machine thing.
yeah.
He put a whooping on some folks.
Well, yeah.
At 50-something years old,
He had them
almost
clubs.
60 years old.
He had them big old club, man. You know, they say you gotta avoid getting hit by him because if he hit you, because Joe was powerful. Joe Frazier was powerful back in the day, but until George came along, them big old knockers he had. But anyway, as we were saying, Walt, you know, this community has come a long way, and I was having a conversation this morning, and everybody's talking about a strong mayor form of government, but the strong mayor is good, but you got 4 city councilmen that can put together a vote and pretty much make anything they need to happen. You know, you see what I'm saying? Even the mayor, he got the final say so. But some issues, if you got 4 or 5 of those city councilmen scrapping pretty hard, even the mayor got to take a back seat every now and then because you got 4 or 5 city councilmen fighting some issue.
Sunshine laws have been a deterrent to real effective legislation locally, I think.
Yeah.
So we need to challenge some of those rules that take place because I tell you right now, it can be a real hindrance to being able to have some real serious conversation that needs to be had amongst peers and colleagues on city council. That, you know, some of those things I think are just ridiculous. And my colleagues all agree to that point.
And it works in some places, and then in some places it really don't work because they found ways to get around that. You know, you end up at a party. You know, all the people in your office talking to all the people in their office. You know. I mean that's how they do it. I mean
you should hear me at board meetings. Board when I'm on the CRA board, the Community Advisory Committee for the CRA in West Tampa, and you should hear the attorney come in and give us updates on anything relative to sunshine laws or just kind of give us, you know, pointers on different things to remind us about things. And we're like, man.
Has anybody ever been prosecuted for that? Now you know it happens, and it's all over the state, so it ain't just, you know, this city or this county. But for as many people as out there, I've never heard anybody get prosecuted, you know, for that, even though we know it happens. So go ahead and tell people how to contact you, how to get you money, how to help you, how to show up at your event. Go ahead and give that information.
Hey, listen, we have an event going on at 6:30 to 8:30 this Tuesday at 2504 East 12th Avenue. That's 2504 East 12th Avenue in my backyard, right here in East Ybor. Okay. Again, this is it's a fundraiser for the campaign, the We Are One movement, as we call it. The We Are One movement, my campaign for city council. And this is environmental folk that are supporters of mine from Sierra Club. And we're very happy to have people like Phil Compton, Michael Newitt, and Gonzalo Valdez, all of them supporters of the We Are One movement and what we're doing, and our hopes for clean energy, 100% clean energy in this city. That's a people issue.
Right.
That's
It's a different perspective.
You know,
All right.
this is something that's about people, right?
Okay.
It's
Well, that
been
makes sense.
politicized, but we want communities to be clean. We want these kids to stop having asthma and all these upper respiratory infections. You have more in this generation than any other time. I asked my science class the other day, how many of you have asthma? Just talking about the issue of impacts of the environment on weather and things like that in our communities. And literally 90% of my class raised their hand. That's a problem.
So
And
a Democrat actually involved in trying to see how to fix it. Wow, that's good.
you know,
We need that.
Gotta do it.
All of them just talk, but you're trying to see how what's causing it.
Trying
Let's
to
fix
do
it.
it. Educate.
Let's fix it.
Outreach. Get it
That's
done.
awesome.
Get it
Awesome.
done. You can actually go to my Facebook page at Walter for Tampa. Go to walterfortampa.com, which is my website. You can donate on the website, which is walterfortampa.com. And remember, March 5th is voting day, election day. The 25th is early voting, and until the 3rd of March. And we are excited about what's happening. And we hope and pray for the support of people who want some serious change to take place. Not just we listen. I'm not one of those guys that is talking about it. I've been doing it for 18 years.
That's good. Walking and talking it.
Writing that curriculum, putting people to work, teaching them, getting them ready to take those jobs to cut down this unemployment, revitalizing communities and actually doing it and being involved in the processes, advising communities, individuals, businesses on what needs to happen in order to revitalize.
So Eddie, getting rid of the old and bringing in the new sounds like
That's what it's all about.
it sounds like Tampa would win.
Well, it's a win-win, and that's what it should always be. You don't have to have a loser in that. You don't have losers in the races, but at the end of the day, Tampa
Has to
should
win.
be a better place
Right.
when this is done. Because
Sure.
the information is out there, the candidates are out there. It's not the same. This is the first election that I don't see a lot of retreads. I mean, the same old guys running for the same old slot, keep getting elected. No, you got a couple of them that's trying to redo some stuff that they've done before, but it's a 90% new class. You know, you got 10% maybe hanging around, but you got 90% new people. And if these new people get elected, and it's not such a thing that's happening, that if you look at these guys, these people are young folks. They're not 50, 60, 70-year-old folks trying to get elected. These are new people, so if they don't win,
Look at the field of endorsers right now. For me, for instance, the Muslims for Democracy and Fairness, Indivisible Action Tampa Bay. You're looking at the Hillsborough County Progressive Caucus, Democratic Caucus. These are new type of entities, if you will, that are in the community now that are looking for transformation. And so, and we got to take some serious looks at this, some real serious looks at what we're seeing. It's not the same. It's not business as usual.
right? Yeah,
It's not
good.
business as
Yeah.
usual. It is not. It is not.
Gotta
That's
change
what
it
I'm
up.
about. We got to change it up.
We're not going to take one step forward and 3 steps backward and 1 step forward, 3 steps, because this cycle, I'm just telling you the importance of it. If we win, we're gonna get somebody from 5. We're gonna get somebody from 5. So we're gonna have one black councilman. And anybody who listened to this show for any period of time, I have been preaching, ever since
be another one.
1968. I'm sitting 68, 2006, 2008. When I first got into politics, we got to get one more seat, one more seat for county commissioner.
More blood, new blood.
One more
I
seat.
wish I
blood.
could tell you the
Yeah.
stories
Yeah.
of people that tried to get me to not run.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And
No.
and actually, I got tired of hearing it.
Okay.
Really,
Yeah.
we got to change our mindset. We got to change our mindset. Because some of these people, I'm thinking to myself, what are you saying? I'm not good enough to help to govern
Right. Yeah.
your
Oh, yeah.
community. Is that
Right.
what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because of the color of my skin?
Yeah.
I thought we were in the 21st century.
You got time for that BS.
Well, and see, that's the other thing too. We the people, have to make that decision. So we got the right candidates. We got the right candidates right now. This is the right time, and it don't take but one more getting elected. I'm just saying the potential is there, for you to have 2 blacks on city council, and that's a big deal. That's a big step. I mean, for Tampa, because how long has it taken? 100 years for us to get to this point where we got 2? So we get 3. I mean, but this is something different. I said this at the beginning of the show. The time we living in now, for this community and this diversity and its percentages of being a majority, minority, and for those who are in the minority to actually step up and take their rightful place. Because if you got the numbers, it's just a matter of time before enough people show up and start doing the right thing.
That's right. And you know what? We need to make sure that we're focusing in on, and one of the things that I'm very, very happy.
And we got one caller here. We'll try to get in.
Oh, let's go. I was about to say.
Okay.
A mi gente,
Well-
yeah. Necesito su ayuda.
All right.
Necesito su ayuda, okay?
Welcome, caller. Let's see if we can get you in here real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and run this off, and then we're gonna say goodbye.
Come on.
These are my candidates: Donald J. Trump for president, David A. Strass for mayor, Walter Smith II, District 1, David Loos, District 1, Joe Robinson, District 2, John Godwin for District 2, Stephen Lido for District 3, Lee Laurie for District 4, Orlando Goose for District 5, Wendy Pepe, District 6, and Quentin Robinson for District 7. So you guys have a good weekend, have a good week. See you next week, same bat time, same bat station. This folks here at Porch Talk Radio. Love you.
God bless America.